Good evening and welcome to Memorial Field here in East Grand Rapids. I'm Matt Gajtka, first of many broadcasts for the 2025 boys lacrosse season as your Pioneers take on a tough opponent this evening. Top 5 team in the state of Indiana, the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. The Pioneers off to a 1-0 start after taking care of East Lansing, and they get their home season off to a good start with a face-off control by Caden Goosens, and he'll run it into the attacking end as the Pioneers set up shop. 12 minutes loaded on the first quarter clock. And it's a pretty gorgeous night, honestly, for late March in West Michigan. It's not snowing. It's not raining. I think that qualifies as gorgeous this time of year as the Pioneers work it around. Oliver Owen throwing over to Owen Stropke. Try to keep those two separate. Zykowski. And back over to the midi Stropke, who takes on his man. Going up against the Royals, who will play here tomorrow against Forest Hills Central. Turning is Gavin Buck. Backdoor play. Owen looking to shoot, and he does, and it's off the stick, off the cross of Luke Williams. Now back behind. Jenkins hanging on to it there. Comes out from behind, and did he tuck it in? He did. It squeaked in behind the keeper, Quinn Irwin. Irwin making his first start of the season, coming off of injury. We saw him warming up before the game, but that one just squeaks by. First goal of the game goes to the Royals. It's 1-0, just a minute and a half in. So Jenkins, 26, gets the goal for Hamilton Southeastern. We'll call them the Royals for short. That is a mouthful. Of course, you know the Pioneers dressed in their white home uniforms. And again, Caden Goosens, 2 for 2 on the face-offs. And he'll look for a man to give it to, and he'll head to the bench. Checking in for him, Sam Zykowski. Oliver Owen over on this near wing. Played it to the far side. Back in the corner, Gavin Buck. And he delivers to Oliver Owen. Coming off a hockey season, another great high-scoring season for Owen. I believe by Hamilton Southeastern. And so we will throw it down to the sideline here as we see head coach Kyle Ozapoff, KO as they call him, in his 4th season coaching the Pioneers. And for Hamilton Southeastern, they're headed up by Scott Beasley. So the timeout was called by KO. I was thinking actually it was Hamilton who did it. Excuse me for that. First game of the season for me as well. Thank you for joining us on this brand new YouTube channel, EGR Lax Media. If you've already discovered it, you don't need me to tell you the address, but spread the word. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, and you can also sign up for notifications when we go live. So it's 1-1 early. Fifely scores for East Grand Rapids. I've been told Jacob Mills is coaching tonight for Hamilton Southeastern. It's Coach Beasley. Goals from Fifley and Wiener. Wiener just charged straight ahead after picking up the loose ball at center circle. So we get our first counterattack goal of the season for East on home field, of course. They traveled to East Lansing. Well, violation called against Caden Gosens. That's his first face-off loss of the year as Nick Weber jogs it. And now picks up the pace, burrows in behind the East Grand Rapids goal. Tossed out to the top, and that's Cuxhausen, Jake Cuxhausen. Backtracking, delaying, waiting for a man to come off the bench. That's Henry Wands, who takes this pass. Wands working one-on-one against Brogan Bernard. Gave it far wing. Cuxhausen behind the goal coming out. Sylvester centered it to the front of the goal. The shot was deflected. I think Irwin got a piece of it. It'll bounce all the way to the far corner and out of bounds to the Pioneers. Will Cannon, one of the co-captains, one of 5. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. That's interesting. I've never seen that before.
You kind of see like the blur that comes in every once in a while. But yeah, so it's been good now, but usually every 2 or something, it's just getting blurry.
Yeah, okay. Well, the Royals were just penalized for unnecessary roughness. Kyle Jenkins goes off, so a man-up attack for EGR. Had some Wi-Fi interruption there. Looks like we're back on, so we'll continue to call the game here as the Nears will have it on the near wing. Stropke behind the goal. Winkle coming out from behind. Fed it off. Winkle got it back. Gavin Buck. Buck to Zykowski. Big shot and a score. Man-up goal for Sam Zykowski. And Buck gets the helper. The Nears lead 4-1 with 4:01 remaining in the quarter. First man-up goal of the game for either side. So East has scored 4 in a row. Nice run to take control of this game in the first quarter. Good statement to open for the guys at home. Gosens fouled at midfield, so he'll get another. Nears have scored 4 in a row. They've had possession a ton in this first quarter as well. Sam Zykowski lowers the shoulder. Inside play and backhand flick there, it appeared, by Fifley. That was stopped by Luke Williams, who pursues the ball to try to get possession and could not do it. So now he heads back to his goal frame as Oliver Owen will take the ball. Owen. Zykowski receives it from Stropke. Owen along the goal line. Now he'll come out, creating an angle. Underhand shot from Winkle that missed the target. And possession goes over to Hamilton Southeastern. In a 4-1 game, 2:56 left in the first quarter from Memorial Field. The wind blowing just a touch. I wouldn't say it's more than 5 miles an hour. Stretching out that American flag to our right. Blowing south to north. So the Royals are with the wind, even if they are behind by 3 late stages in the first, 2:41 to go in the quarter. Fed around and out to midfield, Max Kemp on the trot. Henry Wands lobs it over far wing. Stropke facing up his man. The Nears playing a little man-to-man, it appears, for a bit, but then Stropke passes off his man, and Stark stick-checked the attacker. It appeared to be Jenkins for Hamilton Southeastern, but a foul was called, and the flag came out, and the Royals go to the man-up attack. And we'll see who heads to the box for EGR. Although Stark and Stropke are coming off, I think both of them think they might have been penalized. It's going to be Stark. And so the Nears down a man. 2:12 to go in the quarter. Clock stopped. Just one timeout taken so far. That was by the Royals, as it turned out. Got that figured. Each team gets 4 timeouts. As checking out Will Zykowski for East. And around it goes. From behind the goal, Gould. O'Rourke. Back far side, whipped into the net. And a big cheer comes up from the visiting fans. Henry Wands drives it by Quinn Irwin just inside the left post, right along the ground. And it's 4-2. Each team has a man-up goal in this opening quarter. Long trip for the Royals fans, obviously, but they'll make a weekend of it. 2 games here in West Michigan. And they have stemmed the EGR tide for now. The Royals scored first, but then they went into a drought of about 10 minutes, nearly 10 minutes. But East back in possession. And Caden Gosens, again, dutifully trots into the attacking end, then heads off. Zykowski distributes over to Gavin Buck. Far corner, Winkle. 90 seconds to go in the frame. Oliver Owen with the Nears up 4-2. Starting a nice homestand. 4 games before the spring break, but these are challenging games to say the least. 2 against top 5 teams in Indiana this weekend. Then next week, 2 against top 5 teams in Michigan in Country Day and Brother Rice. Stropke lets it go and fielded nicely by Winkle. Faked one way, went the other. Over to Oliver Owen. Owen one hand on the stick briefly, fighting off a stick check. Now he whips the shot, and he missed it short side, but it'll go over to the Pioneers again with Winkle closest to the ball as it crossed the end line. Wind is picking up now. Mentioned out of the south, maybe southwest to northeast. If I had to put a fine point on it. Fifely scored a gorgeous goal earlier in this game to get the Pioneers going. Rip shot from 10 yards out by Sam Zykowski. I don't know if Williams got a piece of that or not, but it'll stay with the Pioneers with 42 seconds left in the quarter. And Owen does a spin. Using that long reach. Owen well over 6 feet tall. Lefty shot. Owen, here he comes, and Williams did get a stick on that as he deflects it high into the air. 25 seconds to go as the clock is stopped on the out of bounds and now restarted. Gavin Buck, another one of those 5 co-captains for Coach KO. Over to Stropke. He of the same. Overlapping Fifely, rising for a shot, and that's off the leg, it appeared, of Williams, the goalie. Down to 3 seconds. Pioneers need a quick shot. Will they get it? And it will go well wide of the net behind on the shot from Zykowski as the Nears just lost track of the clock a little bit in the final 10 seconds. But they'll take a 4-2 lead into the second quarter. Stay with us here on the East Lacrosse live stream. Second quarter from Memorial Field. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is the East Lacrosse live stream. East, or EGR Lax Media is where you can find us. Just search that on YouTube. Big thanks to everyone with the program for getting the channel set up. We didn't do that last year, so we're moving on up in the world. Second year, hopefully expanded broadcast schedule here this season. Going to try to do most of the home games. Gosens took a hard hit at the midfield area, and what's going to be the call? Violation against Hamilton Southeastern. Drew Anaba had the ball, or no, excuse me, that is 25, Henry Wands. The numbers are a little bit tricky to make out with the black on blue, so I apologize for any Royals fans watching and saying, it's not him, it's the other guy, but I'll do what I can as East has possession in the attacking end. Gavin Buck, Ethan Fifley. The Neers make a substitution, trotting on J.C. Portinga, number 27, as the ball is behind the goal. Owen looking for some space, holding it in his right hand this time, or on the right side of his body. His pass to the middle was deflected and taken away by the Royals. And one of their defenders trying to look for some time and space. He did, Vince Putnam. Good play by him. Drew the flag as well as Graham Toner distributed over to Max Kemp. As the Neers do recover, Luke Stark forces him out high. Wands and Cuxhausen check in for Hamilton Southeastern. Look at this power move by Wands. He's bumped hard. He tumbles down, keeps the ball in his cross as it's in the middle behind the back play. And where is it? The ball is underneath the stick of Quinn Irwin, it appears, as the whistle finally sounds on the change of possession. And the referee making a call for a slash, it appears. And this will send the Neers down a man again. That time Brogan Bernard. No, Bernard came out. Zykowski is actually the penalized man as Coach KO gives him a tap on the helmet for encouragement. But the Royals have a chance to slice this lead back to 1. O'Rourke. Near side Jenkins gets it back from Gould. O'Rourke at the tip of the spear. Now far wing. Cuxhausen with some space. Jenkins inside and a score. Gorgeous play. Great passing as it's fed in by Marcus Lux, the attackman. And it's 4-3 with 10:09 to go in the second. Lux on the backside. That's 2 consecutive man-up goals for the Royals. And 2 in a row overall in the grand scheme of the game as well. The Neers trailed 1-0, led 4-1. Now it's 4-3. We expected this to be a battle all the way through. That's what the coaching staff for East wanted to set up in this pre-spring break portion of the schedule. See what they've got this year. Challenge themselves. And a steal from behind. Great play by Gosens. And Caden Gosens parades the ball into the attacking side and in over the yellow line. He'll be able to hold on to it as the Neers make a change. So the Royals won the faceoff, but the Neers stole it right back. And East has full possession with Owen Stropke waiting and hitting Ethan Fifley coming off the bench. Sam Zykowski to the near corner. Back to Sam on the feed from Gavin Buck. Top side, it's Fifley. Far wing, it's Stropke. Stropke, a juke and a shot, and he scored! Owen Stropke rifles it by Luke Williams. East takes a 5-3 lead. 9:18 to go in the second. One of those head and shoulders fakes from Stropke. Backed up the defender just enough, and the shot was perfect. Looked to be in the top right corner of the goal. After 3 consecutive man-up goals in this game, that one just your garden variety tally from Stropke. Face-off violation called against Hamilton Southeastern. And East will take possession with Gosens again doing the honors. Thought about dropping it back. Instead, he'll keep. As East settles in on the attack. Sam Zajkowski cradling. About 30, 40 yards from goal. It'll be Stropke. Owen over there. Bounce pass. Eventually gathered in by Gavin Buck. Had a little bit of trouble with that, but not too much. Lobbed out high again. Here's Stropke. We saw that just a moment ago. Zajkowski. The feed. Winkle. Having some difficulty. It's at his feet. Winkle whacking at it as he takes a dive down, but it's controlled by the Royals. And Hamilton Southeastern can't come out of the pack with the ball, though. It's rolling free toward the sideline, and it's scooped by Dylan O'Rourke for the boys in black, and one of them is hurt down on the field just about 10 yards from the goal, and helmet's off for this player. Couldn't catch the number as he sits up. That's Vince Putnam, long stick midi, sophomore. And he's up, and he's on his feet. Good to see. He'll trot off. Just might have been a little stunned there. It was quite the pileup on that loose ball situation. We're live as dusk falls on this March 21st. Last year we had a couple of snow outs. I believe it was scheduled to be Hamilton Southeastern coming up here in addition to Carmel. Didn't work out last year. We're making up for it tonight. Making up for it this weekend. Doesn't look like it's going to be inclement tomorrow. Well, depends on your definition, I suppose. It's going to be cold in the 30s. We're dropping into the 40s now. Like I said, you really can't ask for that much more this time of year. So we just crossed over into spring yesterday. Wands. Played it into the corner. Gould. Running right at Will Cannon, and Gould. Right around the goal, and he struck that shot right along the ground, and he missed. And the ball goes to East. Luke Stark back to retrieve. Stark was called a freak athlete by Coach KO in our conversation yesterday. Played extensively last year. Did Stark as a sophomore. But Coach also mentioned this is the first time in his 4 years at East that there are no O'Rourke. Kyle Jenkins turning this way and that. Into the middle, and his shot goes just wide of the left post by a couple of inches. And the possession will stay with the Royals. Trotting out from behind the goal, Gould twirling his stick. Deliberate fake, and still ends up delivering it. And turning rip by Wands that was blocked in front. Never got through to Irwin. Pulled off the turf by Kyle Jenkins. 6-3, Pioneers lead. Jenkins nearly mishandled. Stark was whacking away, trying to pop that ball loose. 4:41 left in the second quarter. Clock continues to run. Side attack. Lobbed across. Gould shooting. And didn't quite get through. And diving on a superb effort, Will Cannon, to try to get closer to that ball than the attacker for the Royals, Marcus Laux. So Lux goes back to Cuxhausen. Cuxhausen against Jack Bennett, the senior, for East. This is Wands rather, as he turned right by the defensive Stark, but he bounced the shot and he missed. 4 minutes left before the half. Marcus Lux coming right at Brady Ross. Bodies him up. Dropped it off. Shot and a score for Max Kemp, who delivers from 15 yards away to make it 6-4. 3:52 to go in the half. Kemp's first of the night. That goal at even strength. Give the assist to Lux on the play, according to the public address. Caden Gosens in full control. And there he goes. And off comes James Wiener as well. Stropke checks in. Gosens to Stropke. 6-4. Pioneers lead. Stropke 35 yards from the goal. Bounced the pass on the short hop, though, taken expertly by Sam Zykowski. Over to Stropke. Back corner. Owen, hands off. Buck. Gavin Buck. Drives it behind the goal again. Trying to work his way out from the side of the net was Winkle, and he's dispossessed. Lost the ball. Royals take possession again. Under 3 to play in the quarter. The goalie Williams over the top. Trying to get through the East Grand Rapids ride. And they maneuver it through midfield quite quickly. As Taylor Willie dished it off to Max Kemp, the most recent goal scorer. Kemp casually draws a defender toward him. Kemp against Stark on the perimeter. 2:20 remaining. Stark dislodged it. Bouncing ball. And fortunately for the Royals, Kemp was right there as it rolled out at his feet. Remember, the yellow lines are the lacrosse lines. A lot of lines to worry about here on the field, obviously, as Kemp backs it out. Kemp twisting. Keeping shooting, and Irwin had to be alert to make that save, but he had the cross of his stick in the perfect position in the top left corner of the net. That's where Kemp was shooting. Yakiri for East Grand Rapids. Haven't seen him on the ball yet, so he helps get the transition going. A conduct foul called against East Grand Rapids. That turns the ball over to Hamilton Southeastern. Did I hear 1-6, I believe? Maybe it was just 6. Yeah, it was white 6. That's what he said. So it was Luke Stark. And with 1:37 to go, the Royals turn it over in the midfield. Well, they did for a moment, and now it's back over to Hamilton Southeastern. As again, Dylan O'Rourke shows off those ball possession skills to take it right back. Jenkins into the attacking end. Henry Wands back into the action for the guys in black. Cuxhausen as well. The Royals slow the pace. 65 seconds remaining in the second quarter. East with a 2-goal lead on home field. Falling down, trying to cut toward the goal, Henry Wands. Ball up for grabs. Who's going to get it? It'll be East Grand Rapids, and it'll be Ruben Yakiri who made the play. And Quinn Irwin sprinting out of his goal. Makes the play ahead, but too far for Owen Stropke. And O'Rourke picks it off. We go end to end. O'Rourke far side. In for a shot was Max Kemp, and he bounced it into the near corner. 33 seconds remaining. Good action right at the end of the first half. But no goals from the sequence. Again, getting a stick on it, one of the Pioneers. Will Cannon, and the snap shot from Gould goes into the far corner. Timeout called by Hamilton Southeastern. Their coach, Jacob Mills, running the show today, wants to get things organized. Probably felt like play was a bit ragged on their end at the end of this quarter, and they have a key chance to cut it to 1 before we go to intermission. As for East Grand Rapids, a defensive stand would be welcome. Just 4 total goals in the second quarter. It was 4-2 East Grand Rapids after 1. The two sides have scored 2 each in this stanza, and still not over yet. 24 seconds left, and like I mentioned, the Royals with ball possession. Coach Kyle Ozapoff, very vocal. He mentioned to me he tries to break down the season into some mini-seasons, so this pre-spring break portion is one of those mini-seasons. And in his words, they'll lose the boys for a week and a half for break. Then you come back and it almost feels like, in a lot of ways, that it's a whole new year. Of course, you hope by mid-April that the weather is feeling more spring-like, but just you dig into conference play, get into the real meat of the schedule. A lot of local rivals. So resetting the action, 24 seconds to go. In the back corner, Max Kemp has the ball. With Stark going up against him 1v1. Kemp beat him. Coming to the goal, right to the edge of the crease. Did he avoid the crease? He did not. It's waved off. No goal. I think that was a good call. It looked like that Kemp stepped right on the yellow line as he released the shot. And so the Nears have 10 seconds to go. Brogan Bernard into the attacking end. Bernard handing it off. A shot and a stop. Great save. Bouncing around toward the front. Still loose with 2 seconds to go. And time runs out. The chance for Brady Ross right near the buzzer. And we have some shoving after the siren goes off, ending the first half of play. Frantic conclusion to the second quarter. Fantastically competitive first half. The Nears are fired up. They have a 6-4 lead going into the break. And we'll take a break here on the East Lacrosse live stream. Stay with us.
Car running smoothly with Community Auto Repair. Offering expert service, honest pricing, and top quality repairs. We're your trusted neighborhood auto shop in Grand Rapids. Craving authentic Mexican flavors? El Cerrito's Restaurant serves up delicious homemade dishes with the freshest ingredients and bold flavors that you will absolutely love. Ready to hit the road with confidence? Whether you're trying to maximize your snow and ice removal with the plows, spreaders, walk behind, or upfitting your vehicles and equipment with running boards, racks, carriers, lights, bumpers, wheels, toolboxes, or even a dump, flatbed, service state, or platform body, Extra Equipment is scale your business? Eight-figure agency specializes in driving growth with expert digital marketing strategies. From lead generation to high converting campaigns, we help you reach your goals faster. Partner with Eight-Figure Agency today and watch your business thrive. 24-hour service, emergency and exit lighting, custom fabrication, fire alarm and security systems, fire extinguisher sales and service, fire training, installation and repair, sprinkler designs, and total fire system inspection and testing and maintenance. Protecting what matters. Total fire protection in Grand Rapids. Always want to thank the 500 block of Gladstone right here in East Grand Rapids. Discover a vibrant community at Beacon Hill, offering luxurious living with exceptional amenities. We provide a welcoming environment for residents of all ages. Whether you're looking for independent living, assisted living, memory care, Beacon Hill is the place to call home. Visit us today and experience the difference. Looking to build the home of your dreams? Sears Architecture, a platinum sponsor, has you covered. From charming expert crafted bungalows to grand colonial designs, with Sears, you get quality, style, and convenience, all in one package. Sears Architecture, build your dream home. Smart, shop smart, save big, and Meyer. From fresh groceries to household essentials, fashion, and more, Meyer says everything you need at unbeatable prices. Visit your local store or shop online for convenience, great deals every day. Meyer, for your family and your budget come first. Your shelves with the best from S. Abraham & Sons as a leading distributor for convenience stores. SAS delivers top quality products, fast service, and unbelievable selection. From snacks to beverage and essentials, we keep your business stocked and thriving. Partner with SAS today. Your success is our priority. Looking to take your diving skills to the next level? Legacy Diving offers elite coaching, top-tier facilities, and a proven track record of success. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced diver, we have programs tailored just for you. It's that time. The legendary Pete Rupert's halftime Michigan trivia. Tonight's question: what is Michigan's state motto? Again, what is Michigan's state motto? A, wander free. B, winter wonderland. C, if you seek a pleasant peninsula, look about you. Or D, stand tall, all ye of this great state. Again, what is the Michigan state motto? A, wander free. B, winter wonderland. C, if you seek a pleasant peninsula, look about you. Or D, stand tall, all ye of this great state. If you pick the letter C, you are correct. If you seek a great peninsula, look about you. This motto is incorporated into the state seal on the flag.
And we are back for the second half. I just won the trivia contest, so I'm feeling pumped up. So are the Pioneers. They're up 6-4 against one of the top teams in Indiana. Always tough to gauge early on, but these are the defending champs of the Hoosier State. The Hamilton Southeastern Royals paying a visit to Memorial Field. And the Royals scored first, but East Grand Rapids has had control of the scoreboard, at least, ever since about midway through the first quarter. They've maintained a lead, whether it be by 3 goals, 2 goals, or 1 goal. It's 2 goals as we start the second half. And violation off the faceoff this time called against Caden Gosens, the faceoff specialist for EGR. At least in this game, he's taken all of them. Kyle Jenkins trotting into the attack for the Royals from the Indianapolis area. East will play Carmel tomorrow. Another Indianapolis power, a wrist shot, or a score from the outside. Marcus Locks let it go, and again, the Royals are back within 1. It's 6-5. So they get possession off the initial face-off to start the third. They capitalize. So a goal just 17 seconds into the second half.
Scored by number 33, Marcus Locke.
Locks has his second goal of the game. Didn't appear to be any assists on the play. And a tie-up, and the possession awarded to East Grand Rapids this time. So Brady Ross, one of the many hockey players on this squad, lobs it to Gavin Buck. Buck, another varsity season. He sees a lot of the ball on the flank. So does this guy, Sam Zykowski. At the top of the formation for East, but he played it in behind the net to Oliver Owen, who burrows in, hits the layman coming, and dumped into the net. Ethan Fifley's had a couple of cheeky ones in this game, and he scores again on the backside. 11:08 to go in the third, and Fifley just rolled it into the goal. 2 goals for him tonight. He's got some confidence around the net. Not afraid to try some things. Not afraid to take some pace off, as we just saw there. As East had a couple of runners going toward the goal. Fifley was the second of those. And the pass hit him on the money. I believe that was from Zykowski. Or no, was it Owen? Excuse me. Big whack on the hands of Nick Weber, the face-off specialist for the Royals. No foul called as Hamilton Southeastern works it around to the far wing. And they're on to the attack now in a 7-5 game. It's in the possession of Jake Cuxhausen, the junior. Back to Henry Wands. Into the action. Wands driving wide and fended off. Luke Stark got there as he was helping out. A little help defense. Check from behind by James Wiener, and the flag is down. It's going to be against East. Wiener takes a couple of whacks now at Wands behind the goal. Wands powering his way in, and he scores anyway. 7-6. That was impressive as Wands, with some anger in his eye there, decided he was going to take it all away. He was getting hacked and whacked by James Wiener on his way to the goal. Didn't matter. He finished it off, and again, the Royals back within 1. These two teams continue to go back and forth. They've been jousting all night. East's biggest lead was 3. It was 4-1 late in the first. But then the Royals scored 2 in a row, and it's been either a 1 or a 2 goal margin ever since. It has not been tied, though. since 1-1. Off the face-off, Hamilton gets the benefit of the call. Hamilton Southeastern, excuse me. The Royals coached by Jacob Mills. The Pioneers coached by Kyle Ozapoff. KO in his 4th season. And he was excited to see. They always try to schedule as tough as they can to the Pioneers. And Ozapoff, who's an 07 grad of East, played in 4 consecutive championship games while he was here. Now he's in charge of the 12-time state champs. The Pioneers, one of the storied programs in all of high school lacrosse, across the country, in fact. The pass out high and scooped up on the spot. Great play by Max Kemp, who turns to the inside, bouncing ball, and Irwin just got a piece of it as it deflected over the end line. It'll stay with the Royals. 9:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2 goals for the Royals already in this quarter, 1 for East. Gould, the attackman, he's been back behind the goal a lot, trying to work his magic. Instead, he'll give it off. Looks to be Kemp, stumbling a little bit. Stark all over him. Kemp passed it off behind the goal. Couple of checks from Bernard. Forces the pass out to the top of the attacking area, and a bouncing shot by Wands. He looked a little sheepish there as he threw that straight down into the ground that had hopped well over the net. But again, it stays with Hamilton Southeastern. Gould lowered his head, lost control of the ball. The Pioneers have it. Big defensive stop to keep the Royals from tying it. And Quinn Irwin plays distributor out from his goal, but he threw it away up the near sideline. It will be scooped by Winkle. Then he whacks it along the line, and it goes out. Turnover. East Grand Rapids gives the ball back. Not for lack of trying from Bennett Winkle. He sacrificed the body and just couldn't quite keep it in Pioneers' hands. Jenkins, the midi. For Hamilton. Going by Bernard. Jenkins all the way to the goal, and he shot it to the far side, and he missed. And Irwin with a yell for a couple of his teammates. Wanted to pick up the defensive intensity there. It was basically a one-on-one situation as Jenkins got passed off, and there was no one there to defend. But Jenkins missed. Maybe tried to cut it too fine. Looking to put it inside the left post. Working is Max Kemp. He's had the ball a lot tonight. His pass, dropped by Putnam, and back it comes with East Grand Rapids' Luke Stark leading the charge. Stark all the way, and a low shot off the cross of the keeper Williams, and Williams dashes out of his goal to make a great pass up the far side, but it's still bouncing free. Looks like it's going to be corralled by the Royals. It will be. So Williams put a gold star on that effort. Behind the back shot from close range, and 2 competitors die to try to get possession, and it'll go to East Grand Rapids courtesy of James Weiner. His hustle. Vince Putnam had that shot as he was on the counterattack, feeling like it was time to pull out the behind the back shot, nearly tucked it in, but again, it remains 7-6, and the action has been outstanding ever since late in the 2nd quarter. Some good defending as well, not all attacking skill on display. Gavin Buck lost control of it. Ball's on the ground. O'Rourke avoids the slash, and O'Rourke turns on the speed. Ross got in front of him, forcing him to pull up. And the Royals dish it to the near corner. Looking for a shot at Lane as Locks. Instead, he passes it off for a driving O'Rourke, who's denied. Good save by Quinn Irwin. And Irwin goes deep with this one. It's going to go not over the head. Nope, it'll be pulled up and whacked along, hockey style, on the ground. And right over to Owen Stropke. Stropke, the lefty play. To the left wing. Buck. Back to Sam Zykowski, who decides to settle things down exactly midway through the third quarter. East has led almost the whole way, but it's a tenuous lead now. Gajtka slipping inside, and the shot floated out of his cross and over the end line. Graham Toner providing resistance for the Royals. He got in his way, putting the pressure on defensively. Stropke takes a look and hits Gavin Buck with it. Buck to the corner, and Gajtka hopping out there, bouncing, twisting, passing to Winkle. He emerges. Gajtka looking for a shooting lane. Couldn't find it. Instead, it's Buck. Gajtka. Winkle looked to go submarine with that shot, but too much defensive pressure again from the Royals. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gajtka in a 7-6 East lead. Turning, getting free. Save made by Williams. Loose ball. And ushered out of danger by Kyle Jenkins. Here he comes for the Royals, dressed in black and blue tonight with the white helmets. East in the white tops, white helmets, blue pants. Trying to make a pass. Coming right down the middle was Kyle Jenkins, but it was blocked and taken away by the Pioneers. It's Bernard on the move into the attacking end. Buck cutting inside, and a shot goes hopping wide of the net. Owen closest to it. He'll win possession for East Grand Rapids. Thank you for joining us tonight. First live broadcast of the evening on the EGR LACROSSE Media channel. Like and subscribe. Sign up for notifications. That way you know when we're going live. Next live broadcast Tuesday against Detroit Country Day, the team that knocked East out of the postseason last year in the semifinal round. Owen protecting and feeding, nearly picked off. Ball in the air. Williams, the keeper, lunges out, gets crushed outside of his crease. A flag flies. Williams still made the pass, and it's safely on to Dean Taylor-Willie. Flag remains down as the Royals head the other way. Fifely smashed into Luke Williams. I believe he was the guilty man there. Inside pass, score, and it's a tie game. Henry Wands going to the goal. Flashed open just atop the crease, maybe a yard in front of it. And he fired it home for a 7-7 tie. 3:37 left in the third quarter. Our first goal in 7 minutes for either side. Long drought combined between the two squads. But Hamilton Southeastern has now scored 3 times in the quarter. Second goal of the quarter for Wands, third of the game. And East has scored just once since the halftime break. And that was in the opening minute of this quarter. So they got to get back to work on the offensive. Gosens aids in that effort as he won the faceoff. And controlled the ball for a stretch of time, allowing Gajtka to come on and take it, choking way down on the stick. Twirls and fires over to Owen. He connects on to Fifely, who's got a couple of goals tonight. Far wing, and Stropke, who has also scored this evening. Stropke backpedaling, hitting Fifely. He fakes, he shoots, he scores up high. And it's a hat trick for Fifely. The junior midfielder rips it home over the head of Luke Williams. 8-7 East. 2:54 remaining in the quarter. Gajtka picks up the assist on Fifely's third of the evening. He scored 3 very different ways. He had a behind the back, between the legs shot, or no, over his shoulder, excuse me. Blind shot toward the goal. That started things for him. And a soft little relay into the net earlier in this quarter, and now he buries one, a high, hard one. Royals control the ball. After all that, O'Rourke looks on as Jenkins checks into the play, but the pass goes to Cuxhausen. Wands. He's feeling it now. Wands, a shot saved by Irwin with the stick, and he hangs onto it on the loose ball. 2:18 left in the quarter, but a high pass off the stick of Yakiri, and it's over to the Royals. Clock running. 2:13 to go. Internal pass, and Irwin snatches it. Irwin outside of his crease. Has a seam. Irwin to the midfield. What will he do with it? He's going to hang on and make that pass to Owen. And the Neers are officially on the attack now. Owen about 10, maybe 15 yards from the net. Stropke takes the pass. Final 2 minutes of the third. Buck squats down to take that pass. Good fundamentals. Fifely to Stropke. They remain out high. Stropke driving. Now he backs out toward the sideline. Sam Zajkowski, Owen Stropke. Little hop. Trying to create some momentum going toward the goal. Didn't work, as Hamilton's Southeastern's Graham Toner got in the way of that. Owen looks over his shoulder. He's got Fifely behind him. Instead, he'll pass off the Buck all the way across to Fifely. Driving, faking, feeding. 50 seconds to go in the quarter. Oliver Owen. Bennett Winkle, number 25 in white. Winkle swaggering in. He's going to pull it back out. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Gavin Buck aggressively pushing, but no room there as well, as Fisher was in the path. A shot by Zajkowski interrupted on the way. He's calling for a foul. Nothing's going to be called there, though. And the ball bounces out to East Grand Rapids with 17 seconds left. Clock running. Owen pointing toward the scoreboard to remind his team there's not a lot of time left. That's a good heady play, but the Neers got to hustle. Into the middle. Good catch from Zajkowski. Turns to his right, and he scores before the buzzer. 2 seconds left, and Sam Zajkowski makes it 8-7 East Grand Rapids. That's a promising sequence for East. They didn't lose their cool with the time expiring, basically. Just 2 ticks to go on the third quarter clock. And now 2 goals in a row for East. One by Fifely, one by Zajkowski. Zajkowski assisted on the score by Fifely just moments ago. A key strike there, and that will, for all intents and purposes, end the third quarter. We'll have one more face-off. And the 2 players rake at it, and no one gets possession. As the siren sounds, East Grand Rapids scores 3 in the quarter, including 2 late, to maintain its 2-goal lead, 9-7. We'll take one final break from Memorial Field in East Grand Rapids. Back for the 4th. It's been sensational so far. Hope you can stay with us.
Brought to you by our platinum sponsors, Sears Architects, Meyer, and SAS.
I have Sam Zykowski, the junior, with 3 goals tonight. So he scores his hat trick tally with 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. Zykowski listed as a midi and an attackman. Got quite a few viewers live, so I appreciate everyone tuning in, whether you're an East fan or a Hamilton Southeastern fan. We're at the home of the Pioneers, and the faceoff controlled by Dylan O'Rourke for Hamilton Southeastern. They're in the black. East is in the white. East leads it by 2, just as they did at the half. It was 6-4 at the half. It's 9-7 now. I'm Matt Gajtka on the play-by-play. Thank you so much for joining us on a very seasonal Friday night. It is the Friday Night Lights, just in springtime, not in the fall. Just as intense as anything you'll see here on this field all year long. Jenkins working his way in against Brady Ross, the senior. Jenkins, little flip pass, good one, and a score. Gorgeous goal. Henry Wands on the backside, and it's 9-8. And just like in the third quarter, the Royals score right off the hop in the fourth. I've got Wands for 4 in the game. 11:19 to go in regulation. And that pass from Jenkins was all about precision. It was just a little pop of the stick. And Wands, the quick stick in front to dish it into the goal. Right behind Quinn Irwin. He's making his first start of the season. He's fighting off an early season injury. Was Irwin didn't play against East Lansing the other night on the road. Ross wins the ball for East. Winkle got slammed from behind. Play continues on. And Owen turns, driving in, bouncing shot, and it goes off the keeper, and it's over to Hamilton Southeastern. As it was a heads-up play by Luke Williams, the goalie, to get out there and make sure he got the call. And here is Williams with the ball, number 14. Taking a look toward the middle. Kyle Jenkins, the go-to guy, it seems like, in the midfield for the Royals. 10:47 to go in the fourth quarter. It's a 9-8 game. Jenkins down the left wing. Hitting Marcus Locks behind the goal. He's got a couple tonight. Slings the pass. Long one over to Cuxhausen, who takes a step back, sizing up what he sees in front of him. Cuxhausen driving just around the goal, though, with Wiener in his way. Behind the goal, Wands. Skip pass. Kemp caught it one-handedly. Gould takes a couple of slams, one on the helmet from Will Cannon, right toward the front. Loose ball in the crease, and can the Nears protect it? They will, long enough for Stark to swoop in and take it away. Hazardous moment for East Grand Rapids, but they survive. The Royals briefly tied at 7-7 in the third quarter. East has had the lead since, but now it's Steele. A takeaway in the midfield, and a high-rising shot goes wide. Max Kemp, what an opportunity to tie this game. But he whipped it, got too much air under it. 9:34 left in the fourth. Royals keep the ball. Look out, quick restart. Jenkins shot, stopped by Irwin. Irwin lobs it down the far sideline. Bernard, can he make the play? He did. A basket catch over his shoulder, but he kicked it out of bounds. Give him back over to the Royals. Cuxhausen gets in over the 30. That sets things up for Hamilton Southeastern. They'll play Forest Hill Central tomorrow. Wands, Jenkins, big head fake. Jenkins shot and he scored, and we're tied 9-9. Just under 9 to go in the fourth. Oh, the PA announced it as Wands. I had it as Jenkins, but either way, the Royals have come back to tie it. The Royals have led just once. That was 1-0 in the opening minute before East quickly countered with the tying goal. East has been ahead, but only slightly for the majority of this evening. Look at this fierce fight for the ball. Brady Ross has it after Caden Gosens put in some sweat equity to dig that ball free. And every possession is crucial at this point. Obviously, Ross forced back out into the midfield. Stropke takes control with 8.5 left in the fourth. The Royals have scored both goals in this fourth quarter. East has not yet tallied since we took our final break. This has been a Winkle behind the net. Shuffling and now trotting. As he sets up a play, Winkle is going to take it out from behind himself, and he tried the short side tuck, but he couldn't get it in. And instead, Owen snatches it out of the air, but knocked out of his cross and picked up eventually by the Royals. And they're back on the counter. Graham Toner hesitating and did complete that pass to Dylan O'Rourke. O'Rourke toward the middle against Stark, and his shot goes weakly off to the right, rolling out of bounds. Pioneers ball. 7.5 left. Clock stopped. 7:38 left to be specific. Up the far side. And the Pioneers Owen to Winkle to Gavin Buck. Toner applying token pressure for Hamilton Southeastern. Or excuse me, that's Taylor Willie. Ball on the ground. Taylor Willie. Did he get there? No, he did not. Winkle will take possession. One of those free balls behind the end line. And the ref is making him stay there as he restarts the clock. 7:07 left. Nearing the midway point of quarter number 4. First home game of the season for East Grand Rapids. Stropke to the corner. Owen, Buck. He had Fifley. Fifley now peels off as Zykowski takes it back. Zykowski arguably the most effective attacker in this game for East. But Stropke cradles. Looking Zykowski's way. Stropke. He wanted to unleash the shot for a moment, it appeared. But Toner was there with good defense. Long offensive possession for East. One of their longest of the night. Can they pay it off? Owen snapped the shot. And it scoots out over the goal, or the end line, excuse me. And again, East keeps possession. 6:22 remaining in the fourth. One of those possessions that could define the game or go a long way toward doing so. Fifley reached to take that pass on his left side. And he and Owen Stropke play catch. Stropke looks like he's itching to shoot it again. He's got a goal in this game from a similar spot over there on the right wing, but he'll peel off this time. Owen takes a look. Stropke fires and scores! Stropke puts the Nears back ahead 10-9. 5:55 remaining. I was saying, it looked like Stropke just wanted to shoot at that whole possession, just couldn't find the opening until then. And Owen hit him with that pass in stride with, honestly, a lot of momentum moving toward the goal. And from that point forward, you felt bad for the goalie because it was going to be a hard shot coming his way, and Luke Williams couldn't stop it. It was a high one. Passed him into the top left corner. 10-9. Like I mentioned, all these possessions massive. Can the Nears win the draw? Ross whacking at it. So is Wiener, but the Royals pick it up off the turf. Jenkins all the way in, and he scores to tie the game. 10-10. 5:39 remaining. We've got one heck of a match going on tonight at Memorial Field. Jenkins, unassisted. And the Royals fans below us to the right are going wild. As we are once again all level at 10. And the Royals take possession off the faceoff this time. So the visitors can go ahead for the first time since 1-0, but they turn it over. Errant pass, Gould. There was some pressure there from Will Cannon of East Grand Rapids, and Cannon will gladly take the ball back, whip it cross field. Watch out, they got to pick it up, and they do. Stark. High pass, but handled on the second chance by Ross. And East sets up shop with exactly 5 to go in the fourth. Zykowski looking over his shoulder. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Zykowski powering his way. Now he takes the shot. A wild one that goes sailing just about a foot over the crossbar. But when I say a wild one, it was close to being a spectacular shot. A snipe from the outside, but it just didn't fall for him. He was off his back foot, was Sam Zykowski. The Nears keep possession. Zykowski, little bobble there by Gavin Buck, but he recovers. The ball stayed in play. Buck trying to come out on his strong side. Stropke thought about bidding for the hat trick. Instead pulls it back out. Stropke has the only EGR goal in this period. Buck right to the goal, and no foul there. It was going to be a crease violation. It looked like Buck is injured slightly as he is slow to get back up to his feet after his drive to the net, and a whistle sounds. Behind the play, timeout was called actually ahead of the play by Hamilton Southeastern. 3:46 left, and the Royals will talk it over, as will the Pioneers. But the Royals are going to go on the offensive, or they'll try, as they'll have it deep in their own end. Coming out of the break. Speaking of the break, since halftime, Hamilton Southeastern has outscored East Grand Rapids 6-4. It was 6-4 at the half. It's now 10-10. I've got 3 goals on the board in the second half for Henry Wands, 1 for Kyle Jenkins. On the East Grand Rapids side, Ethan Fifley has scored twice since the half. Sam Zykowski a goal and an assist. Owen Stropke scored to put East ahead very briefly, 10-9. Before Hamilton Southeastern's Kyle Jenkins tallied once again. And I have Jenkins down for 3 in the game, along with Wands. Fifley has 3 for East Grand Rapids, as does Sam Zykowski. As the Royals set up, they're trying to come bursting out of their own end. Jenkins tumbled, lost the ball. He's hacked and whacked at midfield, and he still has it, and a flag comes in. Sam Zykowski desperately trying to pry that ball loose, but instead, either he or one of his teammates were called and penalized at midfield, and it looks like it is Zykowski. Maybe unsportsmanlike is the call there. There's a fine line between aggressive defense and going over that line to trigger the flag to come out. So a man-up situation for Hamilton Southeastern. 3.5 minutes left in this interstate showdown. One of the best in Michigan, East Grand Rapids, against one of the best in Indiana in the visiting Royals. O'Rourke, near wing, Jenkins. This is Kemp, Jenkins. Shot, a score! Max Kemp goes upstairs, and it's 11-10, and the Royals lead for the first time since the opening minute of this game. 3:14 left for EGR to find an answer. Man-up goal Our first man-up goal since early in the second quarter as well. We haven't seen too many of those situations in this game. 4 goals in this fourth for the Royals to take the lead. And again, the ever-critical face-off. Kicked forward by Gosens. Looks like it's going to be over to the Pioneers, and it will be. Ross, in close quarters, eludes the defending of a couple of Royals. Ross, 15 yards from goal, stripped of the ball. He fights to win it back, and he does work it over to Owen. Owen, the flip pass. Owen Stropke on the trot. Stropke, Zykowski, backside, Ross, off the bar. It stays out. Oh, my goodness. A lot of velocity on that one, but it did not go in. 2:43 left in the fourth quarter. Doesn't get much more thrilling than this in the opening week of the season especially. This is Fifely shooting off his back foot, and it's stopped and held by Luke Williams. Dumps it over the top of the EGR ride. Far wing. And trotted through midfield by Graham Toner. 2:09 left. Loose ball on the far side. Nearly picked up by East Ruben Yakiri, but recontrolled by the Royals. It looks like that's O'Rourke on the far wing. It is. Oh, no, excuse me. That is the most recent goal scorer, Max Kemp. Delivers it on to Jenkins. Jenkins faked like he was going to drive down the sideline. Now he moves inside, and he's fended off nicely by a couple of East defenders, including James Weiner. Also, Luke Stark got into the action. 1:36 left. Timeout called by the Royals. I believe that is their last one available to them. They'd already called one earlier in this quarter. They want to discuss matters defensively. East gets a chance to set something up. Or excuse me, offensively, the Royals have a chance to set something up. And East can talk about, well, if they can get the stop, what do they do when they go back on the attack? Do they try to go quickly? Of course, a lot depends on just the situation, how much chaos there is. But they've got to get the stop and then worry about attacking later. So no timeouts remaining for the Royals. 2 left for the Pioneers if they want them. And for an early season game, it's been a phenomenal exhibition of high school lacrosse. We've enjoyed it all the way through. High above Memorial Field here in the enclave of East Grand Rapids. And the Royals, Henry Wands, starts possession with the ball. Wands running around behind. Forced there by Stark. Wands throwing it toward the empty goal as Irwin had come out. Now Irwin back in position, and he can't make the save. A shot and a score by Kyle Jenkins. So the Royals go to work. Persistent. Jenkins drives it by Irwin with a lefty shot, and it's 12-10 with 1:22 left. Three goals in the third alone for Kyle Jenkins, junior midfielder. And East in desperate straits with just 82 seconds left. They'll need a quick one. Caden Gosens, clutch face-off win. Whistle sounded. Violation against Hamilton Southeastern. Now Gosens calms things down for East, and the referee at midfield is going to call his two associates over. Coach KO is wondering what is going on. I'm wondering the same thing. We'll find out shortly. Looked to be a clean face-off control for Caden Gosens and the Pioneers. 1:03 left with the clock stopped. Looks like the discussion is over. I think they're saying East will restart with the ball over on the far numbers, beyond the hash mark. The Pioneers have 2 timeouts remaining. The Pioneers led after 1, after 2, and after 3, but Hamilton Southeastern has stuck with it. And they have scored now 5 times in the fourth, giving up just 1. And they're going to put some time back on the clock. That was part of the discussion here. 1:11 left now. Of course, that benefits the Nears. But what can they do with it? Pfeifley to Stropke on the right flank. Pfeifley straight on. Now he'll pass off to Buck. Shot it! Oh, that was a hard shot right along the ground, and it just missed. Williams took a swing at it to try to deflect it away. I don't think he did. Either way, it stays with East Grand Rapids. Clock stopped with 58 seconds remaining in the fourth, and possibly the game. Owen, a bounding ball as he stumbled down, and he lost control of it to Luke Williams, the keeper for the Royals, and he tries to make a move. Couldn't get by Gavin Buck, who slammed him with a stick, but Williams able to get rid of it. Thrown all the way ahead, picked off the ground by Luke Stark. Stark to Stropke, 30 seconds left. Stropke into the attack, hits Gavin Buck, peels away from pressure, looks backside, deflected pass, caught by Stropke, far side shot, save Williams on the drive, up high from Oliver Owen. Still free on the turf, 17 seconds remaining, and the Royals have it again. Wands on the counter, had it poked away from behind, but only 10 seconds left. Gould. And whacked back into Royals real estate, Marcus Lux. Thrown up into the air by Vince Putnam. Time runs out, and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals score a big win on the road tonight, 12-10, as they beat East Grand Rapids, coming from behind, scoring 5 in the fourth quarter. East briefly had a 10-9 lead, but the Royals scored the last 3, including 2 by Kyle Jenkins, also scoring in that flurry. Max Kemp, a man-up goal to give them the lead for good. Handshakes at midfield, and deservedly so. 2 teams that are going to be in the mix for their state championships, you would think, respectively, at the end of the spring. They get to meet here on the second day of spring, second game of the season for East. A lot of good things for the Pioneers, but they couldn't hang on as their opponent from south of the border, if you will, from Indiana, takes care of business. For East Grand Rapids, Ethan Pfeifley had a hat trick. Sam Zykowski had 3 as well, plus an assist. Also scoring in the game a couple for Owen Stropke, including 1 in the fourth quarter, like I mentioned, to give them a 10-9 lead with about 6 minutes to go, but unable to hang on. I've got Wands for, well, count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4 goals for Hamilton Southeastern. I have Jenkins for 3 for them. Luke Williams gets the win in goal, and Quinn Irwin returns with a few strong saves and some great plays, but not enough to get the win for the Pioneers. So the Nears will be back at it tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, face-off against Carmel of Indiana as well, another top 2 team, you would argue, from the state, a team that went all the way to the final in the state last year. We will not have that one for you on the stream. Our next stream is Tuesday at 7 against Detroit Country Day, as the Nears try to get their first win against Country Day since the pre-pandemic days. It would be the first for the KO regime if they can do it. So to look forward to that challenge. I look forward to being with you again from Memorial Field. Thank you again for watching, and we'll talk to you next time on the East Lacrosse live stream.